Moments with God.
God's way, not mine. Show me thy ways, O Lord, teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. Psalms chapter 25, verses 4 and 5. The direction given to Moses was, "See that thou make all things according to the pattern shown to thee in the mount." Hebrews chapter 8, verse 5. Although Moses was full of zeal to do God's work, and he could have the most skillful, talented men to carry out any suggestions he would make, he must not make a single thing, a bell, a pomegranate, a tassel, or a fringe, or a curtain, or any vessel, except according to the pattern shown to him as God's ideal. 40 days the communications were given to him, and when he descended to the foot of the mount, he was ready to give the exact pattern that was shown to him in the mount. Where many have erred was in not being careful in following God's ideas, but their own. Christ himself declared, "The Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do." John chapter 5, verse 19. So utterly was he emptied of himself that he made no schemes and plans. He lived accepting God's plans for him, and the Father day by day unfolded his plans. If Jesus was so wholly independent and declared, "Whatsoever I see the Father do, that I do," how much more should human agents depend upon God for the constant instructions, so that their lives might be the simple working out of God's plans? Our own way must be overcome. Pride, self-sufficiency must be crucified, and the vacuum supplied with the Spirit and power of God. Did Jesus Christ, the Master and Majesty of heaven, have his way? Behold him in travail of soul in Gethsemane, praying to his Father. What forces these blood drops of agony from his holy brow? This must be our attitude. Not my will, but thine, O God, be done. This is true conversion. This reading was taken from the book In Heavenly Places. God's way, not mine. David said, "Show me thy ways, O Lord, teach me thy paths." The indications that God gives us are things that help us improve many areas of our lives, physical, moral, and spiritual. But many times we want to go our own ways. We want to worship God in our way. How many people are there who want to worship God this or that way because they feel good, because they think that they are doing it better like that? How many are there that reject the Word of God because they say that it is already past? Be careful. This is following your own ways. The law of God is eternal. The truth of God is unique and traced in his own words. Just like God told Moses, "See that thou makest all things according to the pattern shown to thee in the mount," is the same indication that God has for you and for me. Do it according to the ways he has shown you. Many times we want to follow our own ideas. We want to follow that which makes us feel good, that which makes us feel comfortable, something that doesn't affect our personal interests. If Christ himself, the Son of God, obeyed the commands of his Father, saying, "The Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do," why do we, finite human beings, not imitate Jesus? We always want to follow our own way and our own paths, our own ideas. Pride and self-sufficiency must be crucified and the vacuum replaced with the Spirit and power of God. Let us see Jesus praying in Gethsemane, saying, "If it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, let not my will, but thine be done." That should be our actions. The moment when we can say, "Let not my will, but thine be done," then that is true conversion. When we follow Jesus' way and not ours, when we ask him to show us his path and we walk through it, then it won't be difficult because Jesus has already walked it. We only need to follow his footprints His steps and have the security that He wants to walk this path with us and wants to take us to heavenly places. Visit www.biblewell.com